If you could trade places with any CEO in the world for 1 week, who would it be and why?
There's a lot of great CEOs like I adore, like Elon Musk, like Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, like all these great CEOs.
One book that's had the most impact on how you think.
And many people suggested one book is called, I would say, like Bhagavad Gita. After coming here like for the last 1 month, the traffic is a lot. It's a lot like here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the EB1A Experts Podcast. I'm Shraddha, and today's episode will be a little bit different. We are stepping away from all the heavy talks about EB1A and careers to focus on lighter fun side of things. Joining me today is none other than Mr. Raghu Suram. While most of the people know him as the CEO of EB1A Experts, today's episode won't be about his work. It's about getting to know the person behind the title. Today we are here to learn more about Raghu Suram, his interests, stories, and maybe even a few surprises that his team and we all doesn't know about. Raghu, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks,
It's
Shraddha.
so nice to have you here. So let's start with something fun then, Raghu. What's one thing about you that might surprise people and us here?
One thing about me is surprise, right? That's a good question. So let me take a second to think about it. So not about the work. I know that's what you promised, right? So let's try to keep it a little away from the work. To be honest, right? This is a funny story. Let me actually talk about it. So this was like a few years ago, probably like 2 to 3 years ago. I used to have like a very strict time to sleep and get up. So if I missed that time, I was like not efficient at all. So I used to sleep every day like 11 and wake up at 7. So it's very, very punctual. To be honest, after like my son is born, and there were like many times like where I just sleep like 1 hour and 2 hours, and then like still be efficient the next day. So it's a super funny thing. And after starting company, to be honest, like what I was not even sleeping until like 3 a.m. and then waking up at like was very early and still be efficient. So one thing, it's super funny. Like what's all these years, I thought like what is it? That's like the efficiency part of it. But to be honest, right now, like was I kind of realized. No, I mean that's not the thing. Like all my assumptions, like throughout my life, was like completely wrong. This is like super interesting and super funny story.
That's really a nice one. That's a good one. So we'll start with the segments that we have right now.
Makes sense.
So we'll go with the first segment that we have, which is known as breaking the ice with a twist. So here's the first question, Raghu, for you. You are known as a sharp CEO, but if you had to pitch yourself as a product, what's your tagline would be?
There are a lot of products which I do like. A lot of taglines do I like. There's Think Different. There is Don't Be Evil from Google, which is something which I really, really love.
That's a good
Uh,
one.
there is, of course, like Intel Inside, of course, like we all know like how good that is. Mastercard tagline is something which I really love as well. But something which I really think like which we're been implementing like throughout my life and probably at the company as well, the Nike one. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a really nice tagline.
Let's do it. Yeah, exactly. So let's do it is something which I really love and something, right? It's just let's do it. Don't overthink, just let's do it. That's the philosophy which I'm actually following right now.
A very nice one, Raghu. Okay, so moving on to the next one. What's one thing you do every morning that sets the tone for your day as a leader?
Makes sense. So for me, like coffee is the primary one, right? I don't function without coffee. Again, probably that could be an assumption which I've had like for a really long time. So as soon as I wake up, probably like I'll give it like 45 minutes to 1 hour and then have my coffee. Like what is I'll keep it black, I'll keep it no cream and no sugar. Something gives me a lot of energy. I don't know, probably like what is I'll try without coffee someday, but that's a sense its own. Like how my energy going and then gets thing going.
Really a healthy one, though.
Of course.
That's a really nice tip you have given to our viewers also.
Thanks.
So the third question, Raghu, if you could choose any soundtrack to play every time you walk into a room, what would it be?
So I'll tell you a funny story. This was like back in when I was in my bachelor's. So I played guitar for like a few days. The only thing what I learned at the time was the James one, right? The 007. So I'd say like what is it? That's the one. That's the only thing which I know how to play. So yeah, I would say like that's the one.
I
Yeah.
think it will suit you also. That's a really nice one, though. No. Okay. So moving on to our next segment, Raghu. It says unveiling the leader.
Makes sense.
So as a CEO, you are always making decisions. What's the most unexpected decisions you have made that turned out to be great?
Makes sense. Okay. Okay. This is an interesting one as well. We're growing as a company, and there are a lot of decisions which I was making. I was just keeping a lot of decisions to myself. But what we did was let me talk about the unexpected decision. So we were started the company. I was in minds of like we will hire a few people like in India, a few people in US, and try to make everything happen. Probably because of like the policies or anything, like we couldn't. I mean, or like the cost as well. So we thought like we'll try more hiring more people like in India, like for every role. To be honest, like that was a very unexpected decision. We didn't think that would work out. To be honest, it's working out really well. Just having more services here with actually providing like much better things, much better service, what we are actually thinking. So that's something I should say, like, it's a very unexpected one. And contrary to like all the assumptions what I had like throughout my life, again another one which is working out really well for us.
It is going really well. Even the success stories are doing amazing. So yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next one. What's your secret to keep calm during the high stress situations? Any rituals you have or any mantras you have that you can share?
Yeah, one thing I will tell you, I'm not like as calm as like one would pursue. To be honest, like I have like a lot of my movements of like not calm and everything. So first thing is like when I wake up, like after having my coffee, still like what's in a high stress situation. So one thing what I do is I do meditate very regularly. It's called like transcendental meditation. Do check it out. It's a pretty good one. It has a chant which I uses it. So at least try to do like once a day. That actually keeps me calm. I would say like that's a game changer. I've been doing it since 2015. So it's been almost 10 years. So this is a really good one.
That's a really good tip for all of our viewers and us also here. Um, Thank you, Raghu, for that. And so the next one. If you could trade places with any CEO in the world for 1 week, who would it be and why?
It's another good question. There's a lot of great CEOs like I adore. Of course, like I adore like Elon Musk, like Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, like all these great CEOs for like great reasons. Um, uh, One or two CEOs probably like what I want to trade places with Elon Musk. Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
because obviously right, it's like
Yeah.
many companies, so it's not just becoming a CEO like for one company, like the best companies across the world. The other company probably would be Google. I promised my wife like I would be working at Google someday.
Oh,
Of
that's a good one.
of course, like what is it? I know we're doing much better like than my just having a job at Google, but that's something which I want to just get things done like for her someday. But that's something if this makes me get to that position, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, even I feel the same. Okay, Raghu. So we'll be moving on to the next segment, which says more about your personality. So describe your leadership style using three emojis.
That's a good one. So let me think. So there are three emojis which I usually often use. One is like obviously high five.
Okay.
That's one. The second thing is definitely like well done. The
Yeah.
third one. The other one is like the angel emoji. That's something which I use as well. So I would say like what are those are the three emojis which I use like
I think
regularly.
the third one goes totally with your personality, Raghu. Yeah. So the next one. What's the last time you laughed out loud at work? If you can share any story about it.
Yeah. That's a good one. Usually, like the work, right? Like when you're in a process company, things are like more intense, like one's to focus for process driven. But for the last like 1 week, I'm engaged like in a lot of marketing sessions, and this is like there's a lot of funny sides to it. Like we think about the taglines like just like in a second, right? Think about the tagline, think about like multiple variations of it, pick one and go with it. and things are working out pretty well. So I would say like what is it? This is like really loud time in the company over the
Yeah.
last 1 year.
Even we are having so much fun
Uh,
doing the sessions, Raghu, with you.
of course.
Yeah. So the next question, Raghu, if your work ethic were a famous quote or a movie line, what would it be?
Famous quote or a movie line is I know some something. It's just a funny one. Like झुकेगा नहीं.
That's a really good one. Yeah, even how we are going, how EB1 experts the journey is going, I feel the same tagline should be used for every single trip of us. And yeah, we'll never go down. We'll only go up.
You only go up. Exactly. That's the motto.
Okay, Raghu. So moving on to the next segment, which says AI and tech meets personality. So now let's talk about a bit of tech.
Sure.
What's one piece of tech you can't live without, but secretly wish was more user friendly?
Okay, so friendly. Okay, that's a good one. So let me talk about like two techs. Over the last like 1 decade, I've been thinking about these two techs, which would like what's help me a lot. One is the self-driving tech. The other one is like what I say, just ability to. I mean, I know I'm not a good cook, but I like to eat good food, and it's very tough, right? It's expensive. You have to get everything. In India, it's not, but in US, it's definitely is. So I just wish like there is a like cooking machine which could actually do the work. But self-driving tech has like what has done like much better right now. Like a lot of great cars do have it, but I definitely feel like what I say, it's there, but definitely can be better. Only a few cars does like the experience well, not the all the other cars. So I wish like what is it, that user experience becomes better.
Definitely, definitely. Raghu. So, would you choose car over bikes or bikes over car?
I'll choose car over bikes. It's yeah, no, I do drive bikes, but yeah, never a big bike kind of person, but more of like a car
Okay.
kind of person.
Yeah, that's really nice. Raghu. So moving on to the next question. If you had an AI personal assistant, what's one totally weird task you would ask it to handle for you?
The weird task, especially like so after coming here like for the last 1 month, the traffic is a lot. It's a lot like here, and right, it's too much. Even looking at the traffic, like it's scared. With the personal assistant, I would probably say that like just without me seeing the traffic, just travel me from one place A to place B. That I would do.
That's a good one, though. Even that's every single person here is feeling that.
Mhm.
Um,
But one thing, so right, like what is it? At least like the recent Twitter post from Sam Altman, what he said is like AI is gonna probably like decrease more work, which is in front of the computer rather than like in the physical world. I hope it's. I mean, I know he's a great guy, right? He predicts things right, but I hope like what this is wrong, and AI could actually do like move people from place to place. So
yeah, I hope that. Yeah. So the next question, Raghu, what's the most mind-blowing tech innovation you have come across recently?
mind-blowing tech innovation, right? It's a good one. I mean, the few things definitely, right? One is generative AI. So generative AI is definitely like amazing in the last 1 year. That's a great innovation. Obviously, there's so many improvements happen to the self-driving tech, which is really amazing. I know we don't use it like here in India, but like in US, like especially if it's some cars, they have a lot of great tech. There's some other techs like which we use in the company as well. The data analysis has become like much better. The content writing has become. I know it's a part of generative AI, but like there's a content engines which have come up that's more better. Agents is another case, like which is another great use case as well. But apart from that, the one thing which I really love is like some facial recognition softwares is another which is really one. I know it's a little bit like more nerdy kind of in software, but definitely there's so many great things which have come up.
Um, that was really nice, Raghu. The point you got up, it was really nice. And moving on to the next segment, Raghu, which says quick fire round. So you
Makes
have to
sense.
be quick.
Okay,
Okay. So we'll speed up things.
sure.
One book that's had the most impact on how you think.
Um, so I have been reading like quite a number of books. But one thing which I say, like, what is it? There was at times there's a crossroads of my life. A lot of people, I was talking to a lot of people, and many people suggested the one book is called, I would say, like Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
It's a so I did not. There were two versions of book. There's one like very long, elongated version, which is like I think like 1,000 pages. There's another one which is like a very shortened version, which is like 200 pages. It more talks about the theme of it, and it talks about like the way of life. That's something which actually it does. Like what are we thinking, how we are thinking, where we should be. So it had a huge impact. To be honest, like every year I try to read it like once just to see right my life experience how it does. So that's one thing. I know you said quick fire round. I went a little later, but I'll
No,
try to
no,
keep it
no.
short for the next one's got it.
Even I'll start reading. I haven't read much, but I'll start reading from now on. So the next question: go to snack during late night war marathons.
So I had a lot of Maggie. That's a, that's a go to one.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I would say that
And
one.
it's 2 minutes also.
It's 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes Maggie, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. One app you use that you think everyone should try.
App wise, I know I use like a lot of like standard apps. But one app which I would say like what is it these days I'm spending a lot of time on is so let's talk more on the company perspective. Definitely like I would say Instagram and LinkedIn. If you're not spending any time on Instagram and LinkedIn, I would definitely be there. So those are I mean great applications. I didn't feel like what is it those are not so much needed until I started a business.
True, very true. We all are investing so much time in that, those apps now. So here's the next segment, Raghu, which says the fun side of the leadership. So, what's the most unexpected talent or skill you have picked up over the years?
So usually when I talk to the team, like they mention these two things, I would say like these are the ones. I would say empathy. Empathy is like very important and something which the people said that like I do have that one. Then the other unexpected one is like what I say, I lead the team pretty well. That thing, to be honest, I was it's a challenging for me because like over the years I couldn't do that well, but definitely like what is it, there are improvements, there are changes which I've done, which probably like are working pretty well. But right, it's a journey, it's an evolving one. Try to get better like at every day. That's really a good one, Raghu. So the next question, Raghu, what's the funniest or most surprising feedback you have ever received from your team members? So this is a little different, like probably not the feedback what you're looking for. But so I came to the office for the first time after starting like over a year. And the first thing, I mean, came, said hi to everyone. A few of the team members, when I was talking to them, they said that like, "What? You look so tall. We didn't, we didn't expect you to be tall. You would be like much shorter, like in the videos." I was like, okay. I felt funny because
Yeah.
I was not expecting that one.
Actually, even I want to add something in this. So when even we saw you on the calls every day, so you would sit and take the calls. But exactly when you came, we didn't expect you to be that tall. We were talking about you being so tall, and we are being so short in front of you. So yeah, that's a good one, Raghu. So the next question, Raghu, what's one thing you have learned about leadership that no book or course could ever teach you? I mean, there's a lot of things, right? Like what is it? Whatever the things, like what's it, your app, your lifestyle, or your principles, they change over time. That's something which you need to see. Like a lot of books, they say that hey, you have certain principles, we'll give all of them, but you need to adapt and you need to like what's change it depending based on the feedback. So technically, obviously, feedback is like very custom to company, very custom to person. Definitely not any no book can definitely like write anything about it. It's all changes. True, very true. Um, Very perfectly said, Raghu. So moving on to the next question, segment, which is known as hypotheticals. Yes. So we'll be stretching the imagination that you have. So if your life were a Netflix series, what genre would it fall into, and what would be the title of it? It's a good question. I would say like the genre would be like a thriller. Yeah. Things are going in like all different directions.
And a lot of great movies and obviously series came in. Let's say like Stranger Things.
Totally relatable. Even I would give everyone expert's journey as Stranger Things because it went. We couldn't imagine how it went, how it grew from the scratch to where we are right
Yeah,
now.
right.
So it's amazing. So the next question, Raghu, if you had to start from scratch today, in a completely unrelated field, what you are right now, what would it be?
Yeah. So, like, what is it? I love tech, like, what's we are here. Then a couple of other things which I really love is definitely like fitness. I would probably like be there. That's something which I really love. To be honest, like before starting the company a few years before, I was thinking like, hey, can I do something in health tech? So, but this worked out. But that's another alternate profession probably would have been in.
Yeah, very true, very true. So the next segment, Raghu, which says leadership meets humor. So the question is, what's one time where a mistake at work turned out into an unexpected success, or just a good laugh, maybe?
So I mean, this happened recently as well, like 4 months ago. There's one time, like, what is it? I was on a vacation. A friend came in, so I was like traveling with him for a couple of days, and so I was occupied. So team couldn't get like a lot of things done, which are supposed to be done by me. So they went ahead and got things done and they did things in a much better way than I could ever do. It was funny, and I was like, okay, I mean, this is amazing. So like delegate, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
That you never expected.
That I never expected that would actually happen. I thought like, what is it? This is one word. I'll keep it with me for a long time. But now, like, what is it? I don't have to.
That's a really nice one. Okay, so this will be the closing segment, Raghu, which says leaving a lasting impression.
Makes sense.
The final two questions we have, which says if you could give one piece of advice to your 20-year-old self, what would it be?
That's a good question. I do think about this thing a lot. So like what's when I was in 20s, definitely like what happened was there were a lot of things like it started and stopped. To be honest, like just have that perseverance and continue it. There's tough things come in, but just move on, don't move on, just be there. That's one thing which I would say. The second thing, if you're a 20-year-old, invest, right? Like whatever the money you want to invest, the stock market, anything. That's just like what is it? Every dollar 10 years, 20 years ago is like $10 right now. So think that's gonna be a huge thing.
It's a really good one for even for us, Raghu. I'm gonna do that from today itself. Next question is Raghu, the last one, which says, if this podcast episode were a TED Talk, what would it be? The title would be.
Mm, I know we did talk about like the fun elements, we did talk about like some insider information. Probably let's say like let's put it like insider.
Oh, that's a really nice one, though. So we'll put it as a insider talk.
Insider talk too.
Okay, that's really nice, Raghu, speaking to you, and it was really fun. It was really refreshing conversation with you. Thank you for letting us to see your fun side and candid side to all of us, to the viewers as well. To everyone listening, don't forget to share this episode and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more amazing conversation with us. See you for the next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.